Superintendent, you want to introduce that?
Ms. Sorrell, I think, is introducing it. Yes.
This item, this item is to approve the MOU between the district and the Contra Costa County Office of Education to continue operating the BITSA program as we have done for several years past. The reason this item is being brought to the board tonight in particular is given that in past years, there has been a reimbursement from BITSA to the district. This coming next year, there will no longer be the reimbursement, and going out the third year, the districts will then be charged the money because BITSA is losing its funding to provide the payments to the districts.
You're doing a wonderful job wrestling with the microphone there.
And the request is to please approve the agreement, acknowledge, well, with the information that.
So what we'll have to do is we'll have to keep in mind as we develop the LCAP that you know, the county, certainly Contra Costa County, probably other counties don't have a funding stream, as far as I know, or much of a funding stream for BITSA anymore, and so there's not that interest or availability for the counties to continue to give school districts money to support BITSA, and so it will go from, as Ms. Harrell said, being money given to us to allow for that mentoring to take place to this upcoming year, no money being given to us, to then transitioning to, I think, right? Then transitioning to charging us.
Yeah, in 2016, 2017, they'll charge approximately $2,000 per teacher induction. So they're just going to swap out what they've been paying the districts. They're then going to charge approximately that amount to the districts.
How long is this agreement for?
It goes, well, this agreement is for 14-15. It's for 1 year, but they've sort of given the information as to what's going to happen other years out.
They're just telling us what's coming down the road, but we're not actually committing to pay them anything.
We're not committing to it this year,
Right.
but Contra Costa County, that is the county where we have our BITSA induction, and they're just about the place where everybody has it, and the state requires the BITSA induction. So yeah, they're just giving us the information, but we're only approving.
How many BITSA enrolled teachers do we have at any one time on average?
Typically, we just have 4. One in 12-13, we had 5, but the last 2 years we had 4.
And it's typically those in their first or second year.
Prelim.
Yeah. I mean, in prelim, you can be on a preliminary credential for up to 5 years.
Correct. Typically, it is the first 2 years.
Yeah.
They can stretch it out into years 3, 4, sometimes 5, but typically it's the first 2 years.
Yeah. Well, it seems. I mean, I'm glad Ms. Balfe is still around. I don't know if she wants to speak to this item, but she's been involved in the BITS program, I know, and induction is a critically important finishing piece for our teachers, and it significantly, when done well, helps them be better first and second year teachers. Also increases retention dramatically. So it's worth $2,000 to $4,000 per mentor to me, and unfortunately the state did eliminate, this was one of the categoricals the state eliminated in folding everything into local control funding formula, and it's one I wish they had kept separate because districts are responsible for doing a good job with BITSA. It's really a state function because our teachers go off and can teach anywhere in the state. And if you don't, and we may be getting teachers who didn't have good induction, and they're coming here, and the state should just make sure everyone's getting good induction everywhere, because you get a California credential, you can teach anywhere. So
But
anyway, they're not doing that, so I support moving forward. Other comments?
No, I was just going to say thanks for also including the list, because I think in terms of what districts.
Worth the investment, I guess.
I think absolutely it's worth the investment. And in fact, I know that there are places where the teachers end up having to find their own bits of mentor, have to pay for their own. It's very iffy in terms of what the quality is. And having been through this training, and it's one of the reasons Phyllis Cologne, by the way, is on loan, because she is a trainer par excellence. So that was what that was about earlier tonight. But that the particular model that Contra Costa County uses, which is out of the Santa Cruz Teacher Center, is a really excellent one, and Contra Costa County has done a really good job over the years of making it so that the program is less burdensome to the teachers by training the mentors to do most of the legwork. And I was just talking to Mr. Ferber tonight about how hard the BITSA program is down south, because the way it's led to the teachers to have to build up these big portfolios, et cetera, and we are trained so thoroughly that the teacher just has to have these conversations and then do the work, the inquiry action plans, et cetera, but the mentor is doing the keeping track of it, et cetera. And I think, Tony, you can probably attest to that, because you've been going through it, that you don't have to do all the writing and all of that, which is what they do in other bits of programs. So it's a combination that it's a particularly good program, and yeah, it makes a huge difference in terms of what the teachers get. So yeah.
Great. Thank you. Any other public comment on this item?
No, I just want to say thank you, Ms. Harrell, for recommending to bring this so that the board will be well informed about the changes. Thank you.
So do we have a motion to approve the BITSA MOU with Contra Costa County Office of Ed?
Move to approve.
Marion,
second.
was that a second?
A second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Member Ash?
Yes.
Member Merriam?
Yes.
Member Pats?
Yes.
Vice President Dice?
Yes.
President Affel?
Yes. Okay, next item is our board member reports. Do we have any board member reports or announcements?
So,
Member Pats?
so just last week was the CSBA Alameda Contra Costa joint meeting, and it was a very productive meeting to talk about the collaboration and what CSBA can do for us. So I thought that was a nice meeting. It was counter-programmed against Tony Thurman's town hall, so I'm curious if anybody was able to make it to that. But you know, I did make it, and it was fruitful. I enjoy CSBA's newsletters, and I feel like they serve a very similar purpose to Townsend's stuff. So that's it.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for representing us. Any other board announcements?
Just that we had a finance committee meeting this afternoon, or right before this meeting, to look at the activities ahead in terms of a third interim. So, which was the information that was presented to the board this evening. So, yeah, the third interim, I guess, will come in this is it for April, right? So, in May, I forgot what time in May we'll have that.
I think we have to have adopted it by June 1st, is what Ms.
So
Sue said.
that information is coming to us soon.
Okay. All right. Moving on to calendar review, we have a regular meeting of the board. Next one is May 13th, and the superintendent's facilities committee will be meeting on May 1st at 8:20 a.m. And the next finance committee meeting is May 27th at 4:45.
Just a point of addition on the calendar review. The Agenda Online company is making their software change and is strongly recommending that all districts do some review and training. So there's a thought by staff to recommend that we come a little earlier than usual on the 13th to allow the board to see some of those changes.
Uh-huh. How much earlier?
I thought you might ask that. The thought was, were we at 45 minutes? It's an hour. It's an hour-long training, typically. 45 minutes to an hour.
So 5 o'clock
5 o'clock.
on May 13th.
if that's possible. We can go ahead
Okay.
and,
Can we let you know?
yeah, we'll send you an email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why don't, yeah, send us an email just to remind us.
Yeah.
and We'll let you know. I think I will try to make it,
Okay,
but I'll have to check my calendar.
great, thank you.
And is the Finance Committee, I go back and forth, is it 4:45 or 5?
4:45.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then I apologize for being really late today. I thought it was 5.
We thought everything was normal, sorry.
Okay. All right. We are going to close this portion of the meeting and repair to closed session. Thank you.